Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the 10 KPIs that are absolutely essential for service request fulfillment. And look, these aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. Think of them as the blueprint for turning your service desk from a simple cost center into a real value driver for the entire business. Let's get right into it.
But first, I want you to think about this question. If you can't actually measure your service desk's performance, how can you possibly manage it? Or, more importantly, how can you ever improve it? Because without the right data, you're not making decisions. You're just guessing. You're flying blind.
So here's our game plan. We're going to build a complete framework for what success looks like. We'll start with the why, the foundation, then we'll dig into the big pillars, speed, quality, and what we call process maturity. And finally, we'll pull it all together into a powerful KPI scorecard that you can actually use.
All right, let's kick things off by establishing why measurement isn't just a nice to have, it's the absolute foundation for any service desk that wants to be great. You know, this quote really says it all. The core idea is simple, but it's so powerful. Without metrics, you're running on gut feelings, on anecdotes. Data is what replaces that guesswork with cold, hard facts. It gives you a clear map of what's working, what's not, and exactly where you need to focus your energy. Okay, so let's get into our first group of KPIs. This is all about the fundamentals, the nuts and bolts of your operation. We're asking two simple questions. How fast are you, and how efficient are you?
First on the list is the percentage of requests you fulfill within your service level agreement, or SLA. I mean, this one is all about keeping your promises. It's a direct measure of your team's reliability and your commitment to the rest of the business. Did you do what you said you were going to do when you said you were going to do it?
And the gold standard here, what you really want to shoot for, is over 95%. Now, why so high? Well, think about it. Anything less means you're regularly letting people down. Hitting this target consistently doesn't just show that you're reliable, it builds a bedrock of trust with everyone you support. But hold on, there's a deeper story here than just hitting a deadline. Meeting your SLA, that's the baseline. That's table stakes. The average fulfillment time, that tells you how much you're crushing that baseline. If your promise is 8 hours, but you're getting it done in 4, that's a totally different level of performance. You really need both of these metrics to see the full picture. Of course, speed isn't the only thing that matters. We also have to be efficient with our resources. Cost per request helps you get a handle on the financial side of things. Once you start tracking this, you can immediately spot those super expensive processes that are just begging to be optimized or automated. Okay, so being fast and cheap is great, but it's totally useless if the quality is terrible and your users are tearing their hair out. This next batch of KPIs gets right to the heart of the user experience. This one right here is the ultimate test. Did we deliver a good experience? This metric is what gives your users a direct voice, and it gives you absolutely priceless feedback on what they really think about the service you're providing. And you know, the goal here isn't just to be good enough. When you aim for a score of 4.5 out of 5, you're showing a real commitment to excellence. It means you're not just closing tickets, you're actually creating positive, helpful interactions. Now, from the user's point of view, this might just be the most important metric of all. Seriously, there is nothing more frustrating than getting bounced around from person to person. A high first contact fulfillment rate is a direct measure of how much you respect your user's time. And if you can aim for more than 60% of requests to be solved on that very first call or email, that's a massive indicator of a well-trained, knowledgeable, and just plain effective frontline team. It proves you have the right people with the right skills in the right place. Now, on the flip side of first contact fulfillment, you have the number of escalated requests. This is your warning light. It tells you how often the process is breaking down and needs to be rescued by more senior staff. It's a great way to find gaps in your training or your documentation. The target to aim for here is less than 2%. Keeping escalations that low is really the hallmark of a truly capable service desk. It proves your frontline team isn't just a switchboard routing calls. They are empowered problem solvers who can handle almost anything that comes their way. All right, our final set of KPIs measures something a little different: process maturity. These metrics are all about how sophisticated your operation is. It's about moving away from just fighting fires reactively and toward proactively making things better. It's all about working smarter, not just harder. You can really think of it as an evolution. A mature service desk goes from simply doing things right to doing the right things in the most efficient way possible, usually through smart automation and self-service.
This is probably the biggest indicator of a mature process. Every single request that gets fulfilled through self-service is a huge win-win. The user gets what they need instantly, and your team is freed up to focus on the more complex, higher-value work.
And this target? This is genuinely transformative. Aiming for over 70% self-service. That's not just a small improvement. Just imagine freeing up 2/3 of your team's time from handling those same old routine requests. That is the game-changing power of a really well-designed self-service strategy. And finally, a mature process is just streamlined from beginning to end. That means getting rid of manual bottlenecks, automating approvals wherever you can, and making sure that requests never get old and dusty in a backlog. It's about creating a well-oiled machine that is proactive, not reactive. Okay, let's bring this all home. Because tracking individual KPIs is good, but seeing them all together holistically on a single scorecard, that's what gives you true strategic insights. What this balanced scorecard does is give you a complete, honest picture of your performance. It helps you avoid what some people call watermelon metrics, where everything looks green on the outside, but it's red on the inside. It stops you from making that classic mistake of, say, chasing speed at the cost of user satisfaction or cutting costs while letting quality plummet. So, as we wrap up, the message here is really simple. Don't just collect this data and admire it. Use it. Take a hard look at this list. Which single one of these KPIs, if you really focused on it starting tomorrow, would create the biggest positive change for your team and for your users? Find that metric. That's your starting point.